properly. Um, Actually using a different model here, and it's the first time we've done this. We've got a couple people joining us. Using a different website, a different software than what I usually use. So we are currently on Facebook, Twitter, should be on YouTube as well, and I think LinkedIn, if that's working. LinkedIn, this is a new thing that you're able to go live on LinkedIn now, but I need to check on that and verify if that's, I was in beta on that for a while. But at any rate, welcome everybody, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Hopefully you're there as well. Most of you know my dad, Rev Ron. You might see the family resemblance. He has more hair than I do, but besides that, and we wanted to give a little update. Rev Ron, how's everything up in Wadsworth, Ohio, Northeast Ohio today? Is it hot up there? We're blazing in Cincinnati at the moment.
Doing good, Derek. Good to see you. 78 degrees now in Northeast Ohio.
Oh, I think we're hotter than that here. I don't know. If anybody, so a lot of people have been following along with your saga, Rev Ron, of what's going on. You've undergone some pretty significant life changes in the last few weeks and months, and so we've actually got some big news from you coming up today. But for those that don't know, my dad is up in Northeast Ohio, just outside of Akron, and about 6 or 8 weeks ago, my mom, your wife of 52 years almost, passed away, which, obviously it's a traumatic thing to go through, but mom's health had been, failing for some time. So in that way, it wasn't completely unexpected, but nevertheless, big, it's a big change for you and a big loss to both of us, really. And so people have asked me, how everybody, I think you're more popular in Cincinnati, certainly than I am, and probably than a lot of people. But I'm out and about, and people are asking me how you're doing and what's up with you. They want to know what's going on, and people that have met you and have just learned about you through my social media and such. People love you, and the support and the love that is shown to me through people asking about you and what's going on with us and our little family such that it is. So what's been, how have you felt? How are things progressing? How has the change been for you?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to say hello to all of your friends and the people of Cincinnati. I, of course, have been tuned in for as long as Derek has been there doing the work that he does, and I know that you're appreciative of it as well as myself. The last month and a half has been trauma-filled for us, but as most of you know, I am also pastoring a church in Akron, Ohio, and have for the past 31 years. And
I keep saying it's about 25, but it's 31 years you've been there now.
31 years.
Wow,
and
time flies.
we are retiring from that church. As a matter of fact, we'll be moving to Cincinnati here by the end of this month.
Well, there we have it. There's the big news. Rev Ron is en route. Rev Ron is en route to Cincinnati. So that's exciting.
The church denomination has let me know they may not let me sit still once I get there, but because we don't have a church affiliation in Cincinnati, the only major city in Ohio where we do not have an affiliation, but the church.
And that's the Free Will, because you're pastor of the Akron Free Will Baptist Church. So
Yes.
You're saying there's not a Free Will Baptist Church in Cincinnati underneath your denomination that anybody can
correct. We have several in Cleveland. We have a half a dozen in Columbus, several in Dayton and Youngstown, all over the state except Cincinnati. So, if you know anything about God and trust in His work, you don't know why He's making moves the way He is. But that being said, looking forward to the adjustment. I've lived here where I'm presently at all my life. I was born up here, and so
In the area, not necessarily the same
right,
house. We moved in there.
but in the area. So we're looking forward. I, of course, have spent retired after 42 years in the travel business, have been all over the globe. So I'm an adventuresome sort anyway. So to come down to Cincinnati, and I've called on Cincinnati many times. And of course, I've been there to visit with Derek and was down when he was campaigning first go around for council seat and met many of the people that are involved in politics. And of course, we converse off and on. So it's been a pleasure. And we look forward to the coming weeks and times, and maybe we can meet up with some of you and see you and continue life in these hard times that we're having. A lot of people are seeking, and we try to help as many as we can along the way. As we said, it's been difficult the last month and a half, but we're getting over that part and we'll continue on because life is good and we want to make the best of it as we can moving forward. I appreciate, Derek, this opportunity to say hello to those who may be um, here being greeted this evening, and maybe we'll have occasion to meet up and speak with some of you in the weeks ahead. So we look.
Um, I'm sure you will. And so we're getting some comments. And let me just, if anybody has a comment or a question for Rev Ron, please feel free to drop those, and I will share them. But our friend Frank Henson, who Frank is known especially for many things, but in the bike advocacy community here in
Yes.
Cincinnati. And you might remember me telling you, Dad, Frank and his wife Mary are down in Ecuador right now. But when I was in Colombia, and they're riding out the COVID down in Ecuador, but when I was in Colombia, in Cali, Colombia, ran into Frank and Mary in Cali, Colombia this winter. And we rode the bus because that's what we do, and in South America. So that was pretty cool. And so Frank is in Ecuador, but he's telling you on Facebook, "Welcome to Cincinnati."
Well, thank you, Frank.
And
That's mighty kind of
technology
you.
today.
Yes, and all the way from Ecuador. Pray that you're safe down there, and
He's
always
on the
practice everything you can.
they're on the coast down there, so I think they're in about as good a place to ride out COVID as you can. Sean Baker, my realtor, who you know of, Sean, Dad, says can't wait to have Rev Ron around, and Ashley Galtz stopping by to say welcome to Cincinnati, so that's cool. So can you just kind of share a little bit? What's it been like for you? You're alone in the house now, for the first
Yes,
time in ever, really. And so what's people have asked, how has this time been for you? People were worried about, because I mentioned that you hadn't cooked much because Mom wouldn't let you anywhere near the kitchen. As a matter of fact, her legacy lives on over at Sealbox place right now, where he's using Mom's old cast iron skillets to make dinner tonight, which I'm gonna head
yes.
over there and grab a bite here in a little bit. But how's that change been going for you in the house? And of course, it's been this process of trying to sell the place up there, and that's under works now. And then I'll mention what your scenario is going to be
Okay.
down here. But how has it been for you? How's the time been?
Uh, the initial the initial part of losing a mate you've had for 52 years is it took shall we say, a higher comfort level in my mind when my wife is buried out at the federal cemetery here in Rittman, Ohio, which is only about 5 miles from me. And she's in a place called a columbarium. If you've never been in a federal cemetery and could see this, it is truly amazing. And I, having served in the Air Force of the United States, will be interred there also when my time comes. But since I know where she is because of COVID-19. She wasn't able to be buried initially. The federal cemetery was closed. Even the funeral home was closed. There was no service because you couldn't have a service then. But all of these things have been taken care of now. We had a marvelous service at the church on behalf of my wife Eileen and Derek's mother. And so then when I saw where she was placed in the federal cemetery, it gave me peace in my mind and raised my comfort level to the point where I can move on. Now, to the house, we lived in, and Derek was raised in this house. We lived here 40 years. And we put the house up for sale. It's sold in 30 days' time. And so we're going to be making our way from it. I don't need this big a house. So Derek has found me a place there nearby to him, and perhaps I can be of service in Cincinnati some small way. I don't feel like sitting on my hands in the years that I have remaining in my life. I want to be occupied doing something. And so that all is being set up, and we're looking forward to coming to Cincinnati. But I feel a lot better than I did initially. Those first weeks and the month gone by have been difficult because the place is a lot quieter, of course. And I was rather waiting on Eileen a lot, helping her get through the latter times in her life. And I missed all of that and miss her daily and think about it often, as anyone would when you lose a mate of so many years. But, we have to face up to the fact that life moves on, and you have to be ready for what comes your way. And the church has been very helpful too, because we opened our church back up 2 Sundays ago, and we had a packed house the first time and last Sunday, and then or the Sunday before, and then last Sunday. And we're looking forward to some good meetings ahead that I have remaining. The people are going to hate to see me go. They've already said that. And I have taught there a lot of years too. So they will be seeing some changes too, and I will, and all is good. I tend to look on the positive side and the big picture of the positive side. That's what I share with Derek a lot as we converse often during a week's time. And so I look forward to meeting some of you as our paths would cross in Cincinnati, and perhaps getting out of the snow of northern Ohio too. I won't miss that, as Derek didn't either. So we'll come
and it's kind of crazy, really, the weather difference. It's about 3 hours up there.
Yeah.
And the weather difference is pretty significant. So you will have less snow, that's for sure. But speaking of Seelbach, he's dropping a comment on here. Seelbach says he heard you're moving to Mason. Is that right? Are you going to be in the burbs, Dad? You're not going to be in the burbs, are you?
I'm going to take a Ferris wheel ride over to Kings Island.
Yeah.
I know where Mason is too. Yeah, no, I won't be moving to Mason.
Not moving to Mason. So actually, to answer, Seelbach already knows the answer to this question, but so this actually worked out perfectly. And we were talking when we were on the phone earlier today. We were talking about how and I always looked at Mom did make it out of the 11th grade, but one of the most street smart and wise people I've ever known. And one of her phrases that she liked to use was that things work out. Things work out the way they're supposed to eventually. And that's not to say that you don't have to work hard and get your ducks in a row. But when you do those things, ultimately things will pan out for you. And so in that way, I'm kicking around, my dad's 81. He doesn't look like it. He's a pretty spry guy, and obviously sharp as a tack, but it's I don't want him driving and doing all of this other stuff. I want him to be able to get around without having to use a car. And all the things that I really talk about, just like in terms of the lifestyle and all the urbanist kinds of things and so on and so forth, and a safe, walkable neighborhood. So there's no more a better place for that in Cincinnati than over the Rhine. And so we managed it. But having said that, now it's retired. It's going to be on fixed income, Social Security. And so I found you a little studio space right over here on Republic Street, and ground floor, so you won't have to manage the stairs and all those kinds of things. And super convenient. You'll be able to walk right out of the house and hop on a streetcar up to Findlay Market when we get it running again here shortly, hopefully. And you'll be able to get around and just pop over to Kroger, get your little groceries, or up to Findlay Market, or we go have a cup of coffee and those kinds of things. And you got your masks, right? You get your masks handy because we're mandatory masks as of tomorrow. And so you're going to be right around the corner. So you'll be in the mix down here. So people will be running into Rev Ron running the streets in Cincinnati. Oh boy, look out. Here we go. So
well, we could get over to the YMCA if we get around to it. I do like to swim. And I think that swimming has helped me maintain my health over the years. I have enjoyed it very, very much. And of course, they closed the gym up here. And so we might meander down and see if we can swim over at I understand the YMCA is not too far away down there, and could go see what their program is like. And it's been hard for gyms to get opened again, but we can see what they do. When you're talking retirement, it's a word that has and a feature in life that has eluded me, because when I retired from travel after 42 years, I picked up and got ordained in the church in 1999 on my birthday that year. And I've been involved there for now overall 31 years, not since 99, because I would attended before then. But I've enjoyed it, just keeping busy. And so, you look forward to retirement, but this time is a little different. I retired once, now then I'm retiring again.
How many times are you going to retire?
And it'll be a little bit different to kick back for a while, but hopefully everybody, and I want to tell you, I'll leave you with one last message. I don't know how long Derek wants this to run, but I would encourage all of you.
We don't want to bore everybody. They'll be they'll get Rev Ron in person shortly. But go ahead.
Everybody to follow the rules. Stay safe is the main thing that I can leave everybody with, is to stay safe. And I'll tell you what, I believe in America, and I believe that we will win this battle. We are being tested right now as a nation, and everybody is looking to us, and we will survive even with all the things that are going on, even locally there in Cincinnati. I know you all have your hands full politically and otherwise, but we are going to win the fight. There's no question about it in my mind. I choose to think positively, and that's the way I'll commit my life. And to whoever I can help along the way, don't hesitate to give a holler, either to Derek, through Derek, or to me. And if I can be of help to anybody, because I'm a newcomer in Cincinnati, but I look forward to the change. It'll be all right. I don't need this big house anyway, and I don't need the snow. I will miss the church, but we have people that are falling in line there, and so that'll work out too. So we're fine. We're the opportunity, Derek, to say hi to everybody.
That's awesome, Dad. I love your optimism and kind of roll with the punches kind of guy. I think, for a lot of times we get, especially as we get older, we get set in our ways, right? And so the people that I've just kind of talked to privately, talking about this move for you, it's a big life change. We moved in there when I was going into high school after we moved down from Cleveland. And so, you've been kind of basically on a cul-de-sac all this time. But yet we lived in the city too. And rode the train into downtown to work every day in the city for years and years and years. And so you're used to this kind of vibe as well. So and I know as social as you are, it's not going to take you long to make friends around here. So
Well, let me
yeah.
say this, Derek, that today is our anniversary. July 7th, it was 7/7 of 77.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to this town, and today is 7/7 of 20. So that
Well,
was
how do you like that?
43 years ago today. We moved here with you. I think you were in the third grade when we.
I was a little older. I was a little older than that, Dad. But
Uh,
well, it's neither here. It's neither here nor there.
yeah, I'm
It's
trying to think of how long, when that was, but third or fourth grade, something like that. And
yeah.
anyway, it was the anniversary moving here is today. So it's interesting how the cycle goes, you know. So
Yep.
43 years.
So the moral of the story is you're looking forward to the move, and if anything, you've had your hands full with being a full time, caregiver. With me as being an only child and being down here, I wasn't there to help out, and so you were doing that, and then busy with the church as another full time job. So you've had two full time jobs all this time, and so now you're looking forward to the change and kind of excited about it. Is that a fair
Yeah, a new
assessment?
adventure. And we'll come and see how other people live and see how interesting it is. If it isn't interesting, well, make it interesting. Make it,
Well, there's never a dull moment around here. You know that. You
make
know
it
that.
in somebody's life. You know, be good to somebody. It is helpful and it's refreshing. So we'll have fun. Don't
It's
worry about it. I'm not no stick in the mud either. I like to.
oh, now you know, Dad. As a Baptist minister, you're pretty much a teetotaler. But this neighborhood was built on
Oh,
beer, so your
they'll see
lifestyle may be changing. I don't know.
they'll see a different kind of pastor when they get a load of me. Believe me, because I don't let too much grass grow.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. But so we'll here's what we're gonna do for those that are still live with us. Thank you from Rev Ron, and also we'll keep you apprised. We've got a studio we're getting squared away for him over here, and so right now it's just pretty much a square shoebox, but we're going to get you outfitted over there, Dad. So we'll keep people abreast of that scenario. We said today we need the reality TV, HGTV cameras following around because it's quite an adventure. But at any rate, it'll be decked out for you by the time you
Maybe
get down
we'll
here.
get cornbread in the iron skillet one of these days. You know.
All right, yeah, Seelbach, he's coming over better have some cornbread on. By the way, Judy Seelbach, Chris's mom, just stopped by to say hi to you, Dad. So I'm sure you'll get to see Steve and Judy more frequently now.
Yeah, keep the Kentucky fires burning. I'll tell you. I have to say, I stayed in the hotel many, many times.
The Seelbach Hotel in Louisville. Yeah,
Yes,
you've been a
yes,
frequent flyer guest there.
sure did.
So at any rate, that's it for tonight. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We got a great guest. Speaking of the show, I might as well pitch that while I'm at it. We got a great guest tomorrow. We've got Pavan Parikh is going to be joining us, running for Common Police Court here in Hamilton County. So we'll be talking to Pavan tomorrow. And get some great updates from him. Love his energy, his personality, and so for those that don't know Pavan, tomorrow will be a great chance to tune in to hear more about him and that campaign. We're going to continue helping the team out all the way through November and continuing on from there. And we're going to have a new voter. Rev Ron will be down here, so people can lobby you for the big Rev Ron and political endorsement. We'll see what side you fall on with that. So that'll be big news. We'll keep that one keep a lid on it for now. But thanks, Dad. It was good to talk to you, and thanks everybody for tuning in. Cincinnati, peace, love, and be safe as always. All right. See you, Dad.
See you, Derek. Thanks again. Good night.